Thank you guys for your interest in our course. We called it Reading Scientific Papers. What do we have to know and understand? We have our records, and I'm going to share this record on YouTube in my playlist. I'm going to call it Reading Scientific Papers. Hopefully for the next 12 days, 10 days, starting from Monday till Friday. This week and next week, we will learn about reading scientific papers. This is a kind of prerequisite, let's say, discipline for us, because in our university systems, we do not have something like this. That's why I decided to learn some special topics around reading scientific papers. Okay. And to those who are watching us, I kindly ask you to support us with your likes so the video lessons can reach a wider audience. Okay. Okay. The first day, today we are going to talk about peer-reviewed journals, types of articles. If we have some more time, I'm going to explain about peer review process. If not, then maybe after the coffee break, we will talk about it. Let me introduce myself. I hope I am a suitable candidate to give a lecture on this topic, reading scientific papers. I worked at the Institute of Bioorganic Chemistry, affiliated with the Academy of Sciences of Uzbekistan. There I worked for more than 15 years, and here I have been working since January 2026. My H index is 12 on both Scopus and Google Scholar. On ResearchGate, it's 13. I mean, I am a kind of medium scholars who can teach this kind of things. Both I have been involved in research articles and reviews, and I wrote 3 book chapters. I mean, I have some practice that I can share with you. And some more things. What I wanted to do. Okay, the main part of our publication belongs to research articles, and review articles were about 15. Yeah, and in many of them, I am the first author, corresponding author. I mean, maybe I have spiritually right to share my practice with you. Okay. Okay. These are the topics I have been involved in. I worked with agriculture, biochemistry, molecular biology, pharmacology, drug delivery, in some cases, medicine. That's why I have been trying to understand all the terms that have been involved in this sphere of science. My PhD work was around the biochemistry and physiology of cotton plant. And as I finished my PhD in 2018, I turned it into drug delivery discipline. And then I had my postdoc in Shanghai Institute of Material Medical for 1 year. I came back and continued my work at Institute of Bioorganic Chemistry. And then last year I went to Zhongshan Institute for Drug Discovery. There I spent half a year. Even if these topics look like kind of various, both agriculture and pharmaceuticals are familiar to me, and I will do my best to give the message in these disciplines. Okay. And I have my YouTube profile. There I have more than 100 video files, and this video file is the most watched one. ilmiy sifatli ilmiy maqola yozishni o'rganamiz. Sifatli ilmiy maqola yozishni o'rganamiz. And it has been watched over 23,000 times. This is something that I can be proud of. Okay, this is about myself shortly, and these are the files in that playlist, Scopus publications. There you can find different topics. The total number in that playlist is 35. I recommend you to take a look at the list of these papers. There you can find hopefully what you search. If not, okay, you can write what you want on the comments. I regularly, hello, guys. Come on, can you help them to bring here? If you write your wish in the comments of one of these files, I will try to read and answer your questions. Okay. Okay, now we are going to turn into this topic, into the topic of reading scientific papers. Do we know about the simagojr.com website? This website. Have we heard about this website? Yeah, this website determines the quarters of scientific journals. Yeah, Q1, Q2 level journals are usually identified by this website. And in this website, the country ranks of the countries are also given. These are the top 10 countries who published the highest number of publications. Okay, here we can see that the United States and China have already published over 10 million publications. In the United States, it's about 18 million, and in China, it's about more than 13 million publications. And other countries, as you see, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, India, France, Italy, Canada, and Australia. What about Uzbekistan? This is the important point. Uzbekistan is, let's say, the second in the Central Asian region after Kazakhstan. The publications is around 49,000, okay, more than 49,000. I think this is the data of 2024, not 2025. So even if this number is quite, let's say, low compared to these countries, I would say mainly this data belong to the last years after 2018. You see, after 2018, we have been this kind of results. Why is it like that? Because before 2017, 2018, I would say in Uzbekistan, the English was not, let's say, kind of language in research and education. This is the first reason. And still people at that time were writing in Russian language. Okay. And today we turn it into the education integrated with English. This is a kind of achievement that Uzbekistan has achieved in the last 10 years, I would say. That's why we have to try to understand the significance of English in the education and research as well. Cited documents and citable documents, uncitable documents. These are the external sites. This means this kind of ratio belong to those that were cited by Uzbekistan researchers, and these belong to external ones. Please. Okay, these are about the scientific publications. Okay, before turning to the next page, I would like to give you one more thing about the significance of English. How many universities do you think there are today, let's say in Tashkent, where the education is carried out in English? How many do you think? Universities in Tashkent? 10. Okay, I think it's about 20, maybe. Pharmaceutical Technical University, Central Asian University, International Agriculture University, INFA, Japan Digital University, ACFA. Okay, I mean, Central Asian is the name of ACFA today. Sharjah, Tashkent Medical University, some faculties. Yeah. Westminster International University, Singapore Management, Puchong, INHA, AJU, Yoju, some faculties. Yeah, I think it is about 20 now. I found 13 of them. The point is, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, this number was only 3. Westminster International University, Turin Polytechnic University, Tashkent, and Singapore Management University. Yeah, and even in regions. I mean, for example, in Namangan city, we have one filial of Aju University. The lessons are carried out in English as well. I mean, in some faculties. Today, we turn it into the education integrated with the world standards. Okay, and tomorrow the requirements will be more and more strict. Let's say that's why we need to be ready to the requirements that that we are expected. Okay, and one of those requirements is one of the requirements is tightly linked with our ability to write scientific papers. Okay, and scientific papers. In order to be able to write scientific papers, first we need to understand the significance of reading scientific papers. That's why here we are gathered. Now, we are going to talk about peer-reviewed journals. Is my English understandable to you or not? Do you understand my English? Is it clear? My English is not good, so that's why I am asking. Okay. These are about peer-reviewed journals. Do we know the meaning of peer-reviewed journals? Peer-reviewed journals are those that are checked by the peers, yeah, and the peers are experts. Okay, and why do we know? Why do we have to know the difference between the quality journals and, let's say, trash journals? I would say peer-reviewed journals are those that are evaluated by independent experts, termed peer reviewers in the same field before they are accepted to publications. If you have your Gmail address, I mean Gmail profile, you might receive many offers to publish your results in some papers. Do you periodically receive this kind of messages in Gmail? No. So when you become a kind of researcher who have 5-6 publications, then you will receive many emails like, okay, please send your results to our journal. It is indexed in Google Scholar. It is indexed in somewhere, but many of them are usually not kind of peer-reviewed journals. Okay, peer-reviewed journals are those that are evaluated by individual, let's say, independent experts. Independent. Okay. If your papers are not evaluated by independent papers, okay, the quality is not expected to be good, and the people who will read will be very limited. Okay. So, how do we know the peer-reviewed journals? Here we can see the names of publishers. that are expected to be the most top 10 publishers of peer-reviewed journals: Elsevier, Springer, Tyler & Francis, Ilmiy, yeah, SAGE, Walter de Gruyter, and Oxford MDPI, and Egypt publications. Here we can see a number of academic journals published by those. Okay, for example, Elsevier already publishes more than 2,330 journals that are closed access journals, and these are open access journals. We know the difference between closed and open access journals. Yeah. Closed access journals means that those publications are not given to us PDF form, yeah, and open access publications are available in their full version, yeah, as full PDF. So we are going to talk about open access and closed access journals later. And here we can see articles published in those, let's say, top 10 publishers. Elsevier has already published over 700,000 publications, and Springer has around 447 publications. I think these statistics belongs to 2022. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't find some updated data. Some more updated data. So already in 2022, they published hundreds of thousands papers that are expected to be a reliable source of information. Okay. Elsevier, Springer, MDPI, Ilmiy, Tyler & Francis, Frontiers, Oxford University Press, and Institute of Electric and Electronics Engineers, SAGE, Orbit Technologies. There are some others like de Gruyter, Royal Society of Chemistry, American Chemical Society, American Physical Society, many. Okay, this is the continuation. What I would like you to pay your attention to is number of open access articles. Okay, this one is closed access articles, I think, and this one is open access articles. MDPI is the largest open access publishing. We know about MDPI, don't we? Yeah, MDPI. The main office, I think, is located in the Switzerland. And Elsevier, Springer also have their open access publications, journals. Frontiers is the second fully open access publisher after MDPI. Here we can see it has also published over 125,000 papers. Fully open access. MDPI is also kind of fully open access publisher. And here we can see some other publishers like Hindawi, Public Library of Science, PLOS One. You know about PLOS One, yeah? This is also another big open access publisher. So MDPI is the largest. Elsevier and Frontiers, Springer has their high ratio among the top 10 open access publishers. I prepared this page intentionally in order it would be easier for you to memorize all these photos. You know about Elsevier, please. Yeah. And please, this guy having an apple under the tree. I'm sorry? Newton? Is it Newton? Archimedes? Okay, either Newton or Archimedes, I don't know. I'm asking this much. Okay, just try to remember that if you see this item, okay, it belongs to Elsevier. Springer, horse, yeah, Ilmiy, MPPI, Tyler and Francis, yeah. Frontiers, Royal Society of Chemistry. It has, I think, about 100 papers around chemistry, biology, medicine, pharmaceutics. And Hindali is also becoming, growing very fast. I would say its quality has a wider, let's say, range, low quality, high quality, but its high quality journals are growing very fast. And American Chemical Society, it's also very prestigious publisher. And Oxford University Press is not very popular in natural sciences, but in social sciences, it is one of the largest. And you might know about De Gruyter. Okay, so these are top 10 publishers. If you find some journals with these logos, yeah, while you are searching on Google, so you can rely on these papers. Okay, the papers of these publishers are expected completely, I would say, reliable source of information. Please. Okay, and now we are going to come to why we need to read scientific papers. There are actually three main types of scientific papers: research articles, review articles, meta-analysis, and expert opinions include different types of papers. Before talking in this matter, I would like to know your opinion. Why do we need to read scientific papers? What's your opinion? Why? Be expert on this. Be expert on this in this field. What else? Thank you. Okay, to have the new ideas. What else? New methods. Thank you. What else?
Learning from mistakes.
Okay, nice. Because there are some journals about the negative results. Which point? What else, please? Extract, how to write. Thank you. Yes. What else? You see, there are many advantages we can extract while we are reading the scientific papers. This should be a part of our academic life. Okay? Unfortunately, in Uzbekistan, we pay very little attention to reading scientific papers. Even among the teachers, this kind of practice is not quite good, I would say, because when we have some discussions with our teachers, I mean, not here, with my friends, when we have even some podcast on YouTube, many people, I would say, do not take seriously reading scientific papers. This should be a special, let's say, point that we have to pay our attention in our academic life. Why? Because if we want to grow as a scientist, if we want to grow as a, let's say, staff in the university, academic personnel, we need to read scientific papers. Yeah, this is not only to develop our academic writing or writing skills in general. This is a kind of prerequisite that we have to be familiar with the new data. Okay? If someone asks me why we need to read scientific papers, I would give a kind of a general answer that if the researchers and university staff print 10,000 papers yearly, yeah, this is not enough to make the audience be familiar with the latest information. Okay? If we want to be familiar with the latest information in our field, yeah, genetics, bioorganic chemistry, biotechnology, whatever, yeah, we need to be familiar with those information by searching by ourselves. Okay? We are going to talk about searching engines as well. For now, I want you to understand why we need to, I want you to understand the significance why we need to read. This is prerequisite because we need to be familiar with the latest information. Okay, if we are not familiar with the latest information in that field, okay, we might repeat the methods, I mean, not methods, the work that have been already published by someone else. Okay, this only one reason is big enough to know the significance of scientific papers. Okay, and we talked about peer review process, and this is about three different types: research, review, and meta-analysis. We know the meaning of research paper, don't we? Research paper is also termed original research paper, original paper. Research paper is the type of paper that we obtain some results by ourselves and we publish. Okay? Okay, shortly, we carry out some experiments by ourselves. Yeah? We carry out some experiments, we have our results, and we publish it. And that type of paper is a research paper. Okay? And review paper is a paper that we search in NCBI, for example, and we extract all the abstracts, for example, with one file, get acquainted with its contents, yeah, and then we write our opinion, our approaches based on all those information, yeah. And that is a review paper. Review paper is usually not written, let's say, by masters or PhD students. These are written by, let's say, experts. When you become an expert in a narrow discipline of science, then you can try to write a review paper. Okay, review paper is a type of paper that you collect, for example, 100 papers, the full version, and then you analyze the content of all of those papers one by one. Yeah, the related topics are, let's say, integrated by you, and that kind of document prepared by you is expected to be a review paper. Okay, and meta-analysis. Meta-analysis is the type of paper in which digital data is discussed. Today, for example, in NCBI, we can find some digital data, genes, genomes, yeah? And there are some genome websites like Phytosome, some others, protein data bank. There we can extract many data belonging to different resources. So digital information is discussed, and those information after discussion will be a meta-analysis. We are going to understand the difference between the review and meta-analysis later during these 10 days. Okay? For now, if you have some difficulty, I kindly ask you to watch this video. Now it's being recorded on YouTube once again. Okay, because this information I know is not easy enough to catch the essence I'm going to deliver you. Okay, so I ask you to read, to watch this video at your spare time. Okay. Differences between review articles and research articles. Today, in some institutions, review articles are also accepted for the PhD defense. In some not. Review articles are the summaries and analysis of existing research. You can include your own research, you may not. It depends. And research articles, again, type of articles where you publish your own results. Okay, original obtained by you. And structure. In research articles, we follow IMRAD structure. Yeah, introduction, material methods, results, and discussion. Yeah, and structure of review can be different, can be various, and it has its introduction, and then the sections and subsections can be prepared by yourself. Okay. Again, structure includes introduction, thematic analysis. And this includes methods, results, and discussion after introduction. And authorship, the experts who reviewed are included here, and here those who carried out all the information, who carried out experiments are included. This is also kind of an important point we need to pay special attention. In some cases, some authors do not want to include those people who contributed very little. For example, someone quantified the protein in your analysis. Some people might say, his contribution was very little. We may not include it. That's not true. We have to include all the people who contributed. This is the point. Contribution adds new knowledge to the field and provides overview and context. Next. Research paper, review paper, and meta-analysis. Research paper, we have new data. In a review paper, we express our, let's say, approaches. Yeah. In meta-analysis, existing studies are quantified, let's say. We know the meaning of statistical integration. In biology faculties, statistics is taught very well, not in chemistry. As chemists, we have to start requiring teaching statistics. Sadly, it's not taught. We know the meaning of statistics. Yeah. Can we give a definition here, please? Yeah. We can compare two data sets with each other. Yeah, and we have to find the difference that we call significant difference. Yeah, mainly statistics is about that significant difference. Hopefully next week we will talk about statistics. The purpose in research paper, we have to express what we obtain, and we have to interpret what our results mean. And in review papers, we have to summarize and interpret the knowledge. Yeah, in 100 different papers, based on 100 papers, 10 different groups can write 10 different papers based on the same 100 papers, but their approaches can be different. My point is the summary and interpretations rely on some specific points. For example, if I write some review papers, I usually try to highlight the results in the field of drug delivery. You understand? Meta-analysis is about, again, the quantification and statistical differences. Review families. I know some of you are bachelor students. It might seem quite difficult, but I hope you are best of bests and you'll be able to understand. If we imagine review papers as one big tree, here we can see the branches belong to systematic reviews, review of reviews, traditional reviews, rapid reviews, qualitative reviews, mixed method reviews, and purpose-specific reviews. Fumoil, have you prepared any review paper yet so far?
Yes, in the master degree, we published
And
2 review papers.
have you published them? No. Hamza has published one review paper. Was it difficult? Not easy, I know. And have you had good practice while you are writing the review? Good. Okay. Anyone who wrote review papers? Do you know?
It was quite difficult in terms of because it was the first research paper.
Nice.
Semester. And because we don't have the foundation of understanding research and history,
Okay.
given the task to create a research paper, we don't know where to begin.
Okay.
In the process of reading and what to extract, that is the biggest difficulty. Because we do not know which information has to be included when there's so many papers.
Did someone guide you while you were writing?
So far, but
Okay, good.
not understand what kind of difficulties we were having because they were so fundamental. It was not like ask a question and we could have a direct answer because our questions, we did not know what the questions we had. We were just generally confused.
I think Professor Park understood how it was difficult to you, but you also have to understand how it's difficult to teachers to deliver the essence, because we have to understand that the information is really much today. The information is really much, and the information we have to cover is really huge. Okay. Let me give you one point of my views. When I lectured physical methods of investigation, we called it here analytical techniques. It was about IR spectrum, UV spectrum, mass spectrometry, nuclear magnetic resonance spectrum, all, let's say, physical methods of investigation. And I said to my students, if I don't know the answer to your questions, I say I don't know. And today we have to understand this thing. Teachers cannot claim that they know everything. Maybe 10 years, 15 years ago, teachers could claim that they know, they could cover some area, but not today. Because first, all the information has been integrated with each other. Today, we cannot separate physics from biology from chemistry. Yeah, there are much overlapping points between them, Yeah, and another reason is that physically, no one can be on time to get familiar with the newly published data. Okay, that's why. If you feel that you do not understand some information you are dealing with, it is still okay. You don't have to be afraid of it. Okay? Still, I do not know a lot of things. I really don't know many things, and I try to find out what it is about. Still, I have been dealing with writing scientific papers for more than 15 years. Still, I face difficulty, and still I learn. It's okay. My supervisor, whose name is Yongzhuo Huang, who guides 2 labs, one in Shanghai Institute of Material Medical, and another one is Zhongshan Institute for Drug Discovery. Under his guidance, there are about 45 students. And he says he still faces difficulties while reading papers. It is normal. Okay, the professor who have been dealing with research for over 35 years still face difficulties, and he told me if he does not understand some new information, he gives some tasks to some of his talented students, try to understand, reach the essence, and then explain to me. This is what he said. So teachers sometimes can give some tasks to students, understand, reach the essence, analyze, and then explain to me. This is okay. This is normal, okay? Because teachers also cannot be on time to cover all the newly published information. Okay? Good. That is why today new types of papers called reviews of reviews are also published. You see? Reviews of reviews. in the same field of discipline, let's say, for example, drug delivery, several reviews related to, for example, one anti-cancer drug, for example, doxorubicin, have been published. More than, let's say, 50 review papers you can find on NCBI dedicated to doxorubicin around anti-cancer drug. So all those reviews can also be reviewed as a review of reviews. Okay. So my point is, if you do not understand something, try to refresh your mind and try to get familiar with the meaning of those terms. And this is one of the approaches that we can overcome those difficulties. Literature review, systematic review, meta-analysis. If you find some discrepancies, overlapping points about literature review, systematic review, it's okay. Different authors might express their approach differently. So even review papers can have many overlapping points. It is still okay. Sometimes meta-analysis are also described as a type of review as well. Okay, now we are going to talk about types of publications in medicine. Before that, I am going to have a little break with you guys. Остановить запись.